great day. Today is the first video in a series for my fall junk journals using the Pumpkin Harvest kit from MyPorchPrints and some other various kits. I think they are the fall kit and the fussy cut fall harvest kits as well. So what I'm doing right now is just making some clusters, and that's what this video is going to be basically about, is just making these cute clusters. I love doing it this way. Basically you just tear pieces of paper and then put them on a larger sheet of paper, and the paper I'm adding it on is just a coffee dyed paper that's an 8.5 by 11 piece of copy paper. And I took some dictionary paper, grid paper, and I think some recipe paper that I coffee dyed and just tore them up into small pieces and put them across the page. And now the next layer that I'm going to be doing is taking some of the printables and going to be tearing those up and then layering them on top of these clusters. And I really like doing clusters this way. I found that when I try to do them individually by themselves, it just seemed to take longer and I just hem-hawed about it a lot more. But doing it this method where you put the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper down and then just cut up the various pieces or rip up the various pieces, it seemed to be just more efficient for me, and it just seemed to be able to make them a little more cohesive since they're all going to be going in the same journal. So definitely check that out. Basically after I do all this stuff, then I'm going to rip them out into smaller pieces. So you'll kind of see my process as I go along. I did not show my entire video of me ripping up all the base pieces just because I thought it wasn't as exciting, but I thought adding on or showing this whole entire section here where I'm adding on the colored pieces would be helpful, because you can kind of see my thought process where I move things around and shift them and decide what I like best. This one here is a really cute printable that I like. It's kind of a brownish, like sepia tone almost, with a little bit of black in it, and I like the kind of muted tone of that particular paper. So I'm kind of moving that around, and then the really pretty bright sunflower paper is also one of my favorites from the kit that I'm tearing up and using on the clusters. So that little pear I thought was really cute. I like having my clusters in all different shapes and sizes. You can see I have some long skinny ones, I have some more square ones, bigger ones, tiny ones, and that's what you want to do just to give yourself variety. Next, after I put on the color paper layer, I'm going through and looking at my textiles. I had a ruffle that I had coffee dyed. It was like coffee dyed muslin, and I just used black thread and it did a little cute ruffle. I have some cheesecloth that I'm using around the page, and then this right here is just some, oh, I don't know, I guess it's not ribbon, but oh, what is it called? It's not even twine. I don't even know what is that called. There's a name for it, but I can't think of it. Anyway, I'm basically wanting to rough it up a little bit, so you can see that I'm fraying the edges and adding some of my ink to it because I didn't really like how much it was standing off the page. It was too kind of stark, so I ended up adding a little ink to it. Now I'm just taking cheesecloth and just snipping it up into little tiny pieces, and I'm just tucking them around the different clusters and under some of the layers. Sometimes I'm putting it on top, sometimes I'm putting it underneath. Here you can see I'm tucking it both onto the side and on top, and just using all the little bits and pieces. I like how it kind of sticks out from underneath the layers. I like the texture that the cheesecloth gives. It doesn't give a lot of bulk to the album, but it also adds a lot of nice fun texture with the way the cheesecloth is, but also just the fact that it's a fabric instead of a piece of paper. So I'm just going to go around figuring out what I want to do. I'm just taking little bitty snippets here and there and just making them work for me. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but what I ended up doing was I did put a little bit of glue, just a glue stick, holding down the base pieces, and then I'll add a little bit more glue just to hold these other loose pieces in place. After I get everything down the way I like it, I will end up sewing on it. And that's another thing that I like about doing it this way on the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. When I go to sew it, it's so much easier because I can just move this whole bigger piece of paper around and do all the sewing where I want it. And I think it just makes it a lot easier than trying to hold a little tiny piece of paper or cluster and sewing it on your sewing machine. So you'll see how that looks in just a little bit. Right now I'm just looking around at my clusters. I decided I needed a little more color on this bottom left one, and just kind of looking and evaluating kind of how everything's looking, trying to decide if I want to add anything else to this part. And I'm pretty happy with what it looks like. And what I decided to do is I did want to ink around everything, and I'm not going to share me inking around everything, but I end up inking around all these pieces. I just like the color that it gives, and then here is the sewing that I ended up doing. I do like to ink around a lot of my things just because I think it separates each piece from each other, and it just kind of gives it just more depth, I think. That's why I do inking a lot. Now after I sewed everything down, I am going through the fussy cut pieces from the Fussy Cut Fall Harvest, I think it's called, kit. And I'm just figuring out what's going to work best on these different clusters. I really like the leaves. I thought they were really pretty. And the feathers, like the turkey looking feathers, are super cool. And the little turkey, he's great. So I'm just taking those around, figuring out what's going to work best where. And I love this Fall Harvest Fussy Cut kit. It has some great images, and I absolutely love fussy cutting. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. It's very therapeutic, so anytime I can find a kit that has fussy cutting in it, I am game. So if you guys know of any good Etsy shops or any other websites that have good fussy cut images, let me know about those in the comments below. I would love to check them out because, like I said, I just really enjoy fussy cutting. It's just really fun to do. I like doing it in front of the TV. It's therapeutic to me. So yeah, definitely if you have any good suggestions, leave those in the comments below. So now I'm just fiddling around with these different die cuts that I've cut out, trying to figure out what's going to work best in what places on the page. And I always do the sewing first before I put the die cuts down. That doesn't mean that you have to go in that particular order, but I like the sewing to kind of be behind those die cuts. If you want the sewing to hold down the die cuts, then you just definitely wait. Or you can do it both. You can sew it and then put the die cuts and then go around and do a little extra sewing. It's kind of up to you. Next, what I'm going to be doing is pulling out some of my tatting. And I really, really, really like this tatting. I got this from an antique shop. And I love how it's got both the cream and yellow pieces. And recently I actually learned how to tat. I taught myself how to tat. I'm doing the 52 tag challenge from Ann Brooks, and I'm totally behind. I've kind of slacked on it the last several weeks, but I did learn or self-teach myself how to do the tatting, so I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't done too much, so I'm definitely not good at it, but I was able to make a couple little things for the tag that I made. And I think I even posted that little tag on my Instagram page. So if you're interested in seeing some of the 52 tag challenge tags that I've made, you can check out my Instagram and I have those posted there. I definitely need to get back into that. That was so much fun to do. I was doing it a lot of times sitting on the couch with my husband while he was watching NASCAR racing, things like that. But I just kind of fell off the bandwagon and I need to get back on because I really enjoyed that project. I'm probably stopped around week 26 or something, and I think we're at like week 30, 40 or 30 something maybe. But anyway, going back to this page, I am just pulling out some other pieces of tatting that I have in my stash. This is just another cream color. All of these are antique pieces that I've gotten from antique stores. I definitely have a lace problem. I just keep collecting it. I keep going to stores and buying more and more, which is just crazy. But I just really, really love the texture of it. So now I am just pulling or ripping apart each of these pieces. I have everything the way I like it. I am going to add a little bit more here in just a little bit. This tatting, I thought I needed to add a little bit more to one of these clusters. So I'm going to add that to this one right here. I'm just using some Scotch Quick Dry on this in my fine liner bottle. But really you can use Fabri-Tac or art glitter glue, things like that. That would work. After I tear them all out kind of roughly, I'm going to go around and tear it out additionally or more to get it to the where I like it. So you can kind of see here, I'm just kind of continuing to tear it down, and then I have done all those now. I'm just finishing up the last few here. And once I get them the way I like them, I will then spread them out. And I want to do just a little bit more to them. I wanted to add a little bit of bling. I thought having some kind of brown and orange sequins would really make these pop and fun, just to add a little sparkle to the junk journal. So I'm going to pull out my sequins that I have here, and I'm going to use some of these kind of brownish copper colored ones and then also some of the more orangey red ones. And with these sequins, I do like to kind of tuck them into places. Sometimes I put them kind of on the front surface, but a lot of these you're going to see that I'm going to be tucking in and behind. I want to give a little bit of sparkle, but I don't want it to be too overly crazy. So I'm just using my tweezers because using my fingers is just impossible. So the tweezers are perfect for this application, and you're just going to see that I'm going to be kind of tucking them in here and there where I think they would look nice in the cheesecloth, underneath the pieces of paper, and just kind of throughout all of these clusters. I think I pretty much put sequins on most, if not all, of these clusters, and I just really like how this ends up looking. So you'll see here that I'm just kind of playing with that and working in them where I think they're going to look best. Once I get done with this color, I am going to move to that orangey color like I was mentioning. So hopefully you guys are doing really well. I can't believe it's already fall in September. It's going to be October before we know it. I already noticed that the leaves were starting to change around my area when me and my daughter took a drive today. I am both happy and sad at the same time. I don't like winter, and I know fall means winter will be here sooner than later, which makes me really sad. But I do enjoy fall. Fall is a nice season, but oh, I just really hate winter. It's so gloomy and sad. I'm definitely more of a spring, summer person for sure. But anyway, hopefully you guys are doing well. Everybody around you is staying healthy. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd love to have you guys. I do mostly Project Life, but I do throw in junk journaling videos here and there. And like I said, I'm going to have this series up, about 3 or 4 videos up of this, making these junk journals. So if you're enjoying that, or if you like Project Life, please subscribe. And like I said, if you give me a thumbs up, if you have any questions about anything, leave those in the comments below. If you just want to chat or tell me about your day or tell me what you're doing for junk journaling, I would love to hear if you guys are making a fall journal. Are you guys doing any journaling at all right now? Are you kids in school? Has that been really crazy and stressful? Just, let me know what's going on with you guys. That'd be great. So here is just a close-up of all the clusters, and at the very end of this I will have a few pictures so you guys can see close-ups. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you again very soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.